So many things happened in the last 2 episodes, and I would be lying if I told you that I didn't shed a single tear. When Hido and Yurim comforted each other, it was such a heartwarming scene that made it all feel right. You are my sunshine, you're my sunlight. Just cut it.
Oh?
And who needs a rainbow when you have love? Yejin finally confesses his feelings for Hido with a beautiful rainbow in the horizon. But what does that all mean for Hido? Does she feel the same for Yejin?
Things are starting to look up for the group as Hido and Yurim find out the truth about each other. Yurim is Injolmi, and Hido, Naido is Raida.
Raida!
I don't know, how you could not have put 2 and 2 together, but they are all friendly now.
Yeah.
In the midst of Yejin filming this documentary, and he's like, I don't want you guys to act, and they didn't want to act either, like all friendly and stuff with each other.
It was like a little too lovey-dovey for me. Like I think like they just became like best friends. I mean, they were like best friend pen pals, so to speak, and so I guess it kind of makes sense, but that begs the question for me, like their rivalry is gonna come up sooner rather than later, and it's going to splinter that friendship. I would think so.
Yeah, there's something in the future that we have yet to see, that there's got to be a catalyst in there that drives everyone apart. And we'll talk about that a bit further in this video, but as of right now, they're in like this honeymoon period where they are like sharing food. You eat first. No, you eat first. And
it's a little too much. I think it's a little too much, to be real. And, Yejin finally confesses his love. They kind of just like know that they like each other, but like in just kind of like in a way where they're not really like committed to each other.
That's the drawback, or at least one of those little caveats with the confession culture of the East, where nothing is official until you actually confess. Little bits along the way of them saying, whenever I'm with you, I'm like the happiest, and it's just like here in the West, you basically confessed right then and there.
And here we have Becky Jin in her house, in Hido's house, and there's going to be a moment of confession, and then her mother steps in again, confirming some of the things that she's been warning Hido.
Yeah, and Yejin didn't even know that Sunbae Nim at work was Hido's mother, and now, as a person, she's like, get along, but as a professional, she's like, stay far apart from each other. You don't want this to happen. It's happened to me before, and this kind of creates a little bit of a separation. I don't think we saw the payoff of that warning in these last 2 episodes, because they've just gotten closer and closer.
Yeah, and that warning is going to pay off for sure when they turn 25, 21.
야, 너 선배님한테 무슨 말이 그렇게?
So on top of all of that, things are not going well for Yejin at work when office place politics begin to bear down on him. Filming a documentary about Yurim and Hido, Yejin confronts his PD over some questionable filming angles, causing Hido to hurt herself. Yejin's past catches up with him when he tries to apologize for the outburst. PD's a dick.
PD needs to get fired.
This guy is a total douchebag. What kind of school he went to where filming a documentary was like trying to film an action movie with Sylvester Stallone.
He's trying to get it like super exciting.
Wire work fencers on wires, and just like I could not help but just fully back Yejin on this. Like, if the athletes get hurt, you are done.
And that goes to show how much that person doesn't know what he's doing, because of course you're going to be responsible for these national athletes that represent the country, right? And then for Yejin and Hido, it brings them even much closer to each other, because he carries her off like the knight in shining armor. But in any case, that kind of just shows how much Yejin really cares for Hido, and he can't separate himself with work and his personal feelings or his friendship with Hido, because the warning is there. Like, you can't get close to the source, or you can't get close to the subject.
지금 사회생활과 사생활을 같이 하고 있거든. 이해 좀 해줄래?
And have it get in the way of your work, which kind of leads us to believe that this warning, this premonition from the mother is so big that we just haven't seen it yet, and I just have a bad feeling about it.
It also leads Yurim and Hido to get even closer, as every time they dueled, they were just like, are you okay? Kitana?
Yeah. But of course, all things must come to an end, and just by the way the last episode ended, it brings a lot of doubt on all of our theories, whether any of them are still friends, or if Yejin is the father and husband.
So apart from them discovering that they were each other's pen pals this entire time, Yejin and Hido are closer than ever. They go off on a school trip with the group. Everything seems swell. They go through shenanigans with not knowing how to wash lettuce or cook rice.
That was funny. Let's just use the bowl.
And then we get back to reality or present time with Hido and her daughter. And she's like, I want to go on a school trip. I haven't been on a school trip thanks to COVID. And, you know, Hido is like, I've never been on a school trip. Like, she forgot. And then,
Did she though?
I don't know. But at the very end, she's like, well, things are not meant to last forever, in this very pessimistic, cynical ending. And that's what leads us to believe that they are no longer a group of friends. But I'm still thinking that Ijin is the father that's stuck overseas.
Yeah, that really shakes the foundations and shakes the theories that we've made in the last couple of videos about whether Yejin is a father and husband or not. He has to be, right? Because he's in quarantine, and I think what's going to happen is that, I mean, of course, it feels like this, that he eventually gets assigned somewhere else.
Where he applies following through on the warning.
Because like that, well, because the warning is also there, but because also there's all these challenges at work because he's from high school. They're thinking about removing that application for high schoolers and upping the education level because he had that fight with his producer, and like he might be like reassigned somewhere, and then that's kind of the case where they just start to drift apart from each other. I mean, it's just shaking because, like, you know, in the future where she's driving in the car and she's teary, or like the mom is like, I mean, Hido, the older Hido, or like the present day Hido, is tearing up while she's talking about it. So of course she remembers this, but it's painful too because it just seems like none of it is present at that moment.
Yeah, I think for now my prediction is that Yijin is the father, but they're on shaky ground. Their relationship is tenuous at best because he did take heed of that warning from Hido's mother and asked or applied to be reassigned overseas.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that this is just a record of youth. This is just a recollection of memories through a diary of what happened in their youth, and it has nothing to do with the present day. I mean, maybe it does have something to do with the present day in terms of the life lessons that Hido, from her like teenage years to her like fencing years and all of that stuff, how it affects how you grow up and who you become as a person in the future. That's it. I really think that that's it. Like, it has nothing to do with them in present time, with Yejin being the father, with Yurim being still a good friend, and everybody else that was part of that group.
After all, the show is called 2521 and not like 42 and 37.
Yeah, so what happened at 25 and 21? That's probably when they all like experienced the best moments of their lives, and then they just drifted apart.
As an optimistic soul, I do believe Yejin is still part of her life in some way, shape, or form. His desire, his adhering to her mother's warning and being assigned overseas and kind of creating this rift with his daughter is probably hurtful. That's what I'm thinking. They didn't drift apart fully, but they drifted apart enough where it kind of hurts to think about their youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't think, like, long distance relationships is just so hard. Like, I don't know any kind of success stories that puts it in the top 90 percentile. I don't know what I'm saying. But what do you think about our theories and our predictions? Do you think that they're even involved? They're still friends in present day?
And if you have any theories of your own, please leave it in please leave it in the comment section below. But that'll do it for our video on episode 9 and 10 of 2521. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, turn on notifications, share with all of your friends. But as always, this is where we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you guys next time. Oh, such nice fun thing.